Joburg'S hottest breakfast show.
Top 91.9, Joburg'S best old school and R&B. 6 away from 8 o'clock. And Imagination on Hot 91.9 in the heat of the night. I'm actually so excited. I can't believe that I get to talk to Leee John this morning. Welcome to Hot 91.9,
Good
Lee.
morning.
Indeed. Oh, what a voice.
It doesn't get better than
How
that.
are you, everybody? At 91.9, it's great. It's really great. It's like amazing here. It's like another world. It's really
It's like a
refreshing.
time warp.
up here.
It's like a time warp.
It
We're
is.
a time capsule
It
here.
is. It's nice. It's really cool. Very refreshing.
Yeah, a lot of your royalties come from this radio station.
I hope so. I better start checking. I'll find my PRS agent and find
Fortunately for you, they're royalties in rands.
out. Translation meaning.
Very little pounds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It really is a pleasure to have you here at Hot 91.9 this morning.
Well, coming to South Africa is like coming home. I came here in the mid '90s, and we were here for like, oh my goodness, we toured with Atlantic Star. We were we did so many different towns and cities and stuff, and I had very fond memories doing work with Operation Hunger with Zinzi Mandela. That was a great joy for me in Soweto, and since then I've come back. I've done the Rewind festivals and things like that, and I'm a SOS ambassador, so I also go down to see the kids in some of the different townships and stuff. So it has special memories for me, South Africa.
And now you're a Hot Cares ambassador
I'm
as
a
well.
hot 91.9 ambassador.
Wow.
We love that.
Tell me about the early days of Imagination. I mean, it started as a three-piece band, and in just 3 years, the band's had hits all over the world, top radio stations throughout the world. You've had top 10 hits in 28 countries.
And I've not been to all of them yet. No, it was amazing because I started as a kid, because everyone asks me, and I'm going to say it before you say it, how did you get the name with 3 E's? Because I was in a group when I was 14, 15, and I got signed to EMI, and we had... did a record with a famous band called Gonzales. They were the backing band for us. And the manager was trying to elevate us and promote us. And he wanted to call us Russ and Lee, but with 2 E's. And I thought that's too boring. So I added on an extra E and I trademarked it. So
We just thought
that's how it was.
We just thought you had a stutter.
No. Well, it means different things in the different days. It means extra exciting energy, or extra exciting and exotic, or erotic, whatever the mood fits the person who's actually saying the name. But it started like that, and then I wanted to learn the trade. For me, it was all about educating myself and being the best performer and best musician that I could be. So after not having that hit at 15 and thinking I was a big superstar, the only hit we had, it was I think at home in our bedrooms. That was the way the hit record was. But I had such a great experience working with all these different musicians and stuff. So I started to go out on the road and at a very young age and do sessions and sing in bingo halls and pubs, and it was fantastic. And that was my learning ground. That's way before Imagination. And a lot of people in the industry knew me before I got signed to the group. So, in actual fact, when Body Talk came out, that wasn't going to be the record. There was another track called Got To Be Good, which was produced by Trevor Horn. And if you know who Trevor Horn is, all of those 80s aficionados, is that the word? Aficionados?
Yep.
Sounds like something you eat, isn't it? We'd like some aficionados with an order of French fries with chips and some tomato sauce. Yeah. And so basically, he had just done, Trevor Horn had just, I think Buggles had the hit. We were signed to the same management company. Morgan Khan, who was the A&R of R&B Records, who later went on to form Street Sounds, which really elevated soul and funk music in the UK. He had this label that brought all this import music. But he liked Got To Be Good, wanted to sign me, and loved the record, got the master, sent it to America, put all these American musicians on it, and lost the master track. Lost it. They just completely lost it. That was going to be my first single. I was like, I don't trust this record company.
What year was that?
That was 1980.
1980.
That's 1980.
Imagination, I mean, 3 to 4 solid years.
10 actually.
10 of big hits.
Yeah, by 1987, 88, we had a #1 with Instinctual with David Morales. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, we did in America. It was basically, we had a problem in the UK because they pressed the wrong version and didn't put his name on it. And David Morales obviously is one of the top DJs. And that he mixed this track and it became huge. It's like a classic, and that ended the era in 1988. Now we had a top 5 album in England and 88, 89, Like It Is, it was called. And we toured. We did. I remember we did the Dunkirk festival. It was not festival. Dunkirk. They had an anniversary for Dunkirk. You know, when from Second World War, and it was like 40,000 people on the beach, and they recreated it, and we headlined on that. So it was a great way to end the 80s.
I've heard that you were a part of the band The Delphonics.
No.
That's a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. I was doing loads of sessions, as I said, and I was with a function group that when the American musicians would come to the UK, I would be doing background vocals, you know, oozahs and baby babies and stuff like that. And so it was a learning experience. You'd have chairman of the board, you'd have the Delphonics, and I was like, I think, my God, I'm working with these guys, you know, and stuff like that. So what would happen, we would go on an army base or something, so they'd all think that we were part of the Delphonics, and we all talk like this with an American accent, you know, and it was great. It was, as I said, and these are all little stepping stones. So I learned how to be a star at an early age.
I always found that the music from Imagination was so ahead of its time. Also, the clothing.
I thought the way he says that the clothing, not the costumes, the clothing, like, you know, like Levi's, you know, like Versace. The clothing line was amazing, wasn't it?
Or Versace in South Africa.
It was great. I mean, now, you know, they're all, I had people like Lady Gaga's people saying, we were watching your videos and we've been taking ideas from what you used to do. There's the, is it the Scissor Sisters?
Yes.
Yeah, he said to me they were doing the same thing in the studio, watching all the old Imagination changes and music and lights and stuff, and saying, wow, we love all this stuff. But you must imagine it was the ending of punk, which was like 79, 80, and the new wave was coming in. And in London, there's a whole funk scene. We were not into disco. We were not into that. Disco we used to laugh at because it was like there was only certain choice records that we'd like from the disco period from America. But we wanted to be heavy, man. We wanted to be Parliament, Funkadelic, you know, Slider Family Stone, Bootsy. That's what we're about. Heavy, Ohio Players. That's what we were about. And so when we were doing Body Talk, we wanted to be really out there, you know, and visually we wanted to take like something that, because we were very much a live band, and we wanted to take that visuality on TV. So you have 3 minutes and you had to sell and plug. And my A&R guy Morgan was saying, you know, when you get on that stage, you better stroke that piano, and you know. And I was thinking, oh my God, what's my mum gonna think, you know? And then I remember on Top of the Pops, which was the program at the time. Everybody used to watch the music program in London, in England, I should say. You know, everybody would sit down on a Thursday night and watch Top of the Pops. And this designer Brian Clark and I went out and saw all these different designers, Catherine Hamner, Vivienne Westwood, they were the early days. And if you saw the club scene in London at the time, you would think what we were wearing was nothing. Well, we were close to wearing nothing, but still. So when we went on Top of the Pops, we were told, you're showing too much legs, and, you know, you're not wearing a jock strap, so you have to wear... Can you say that on the air here?
Yes, I can. You just did.
I just did. It was quite a crazy time, and we were just busy doing it, and I would always say that the first couple of years, Imaginations was a lot of work. We'd go in a little Citroen car and promote in France, in Italy, in Belgium, on every radio station. So though you see all the glamour and all that, we were working a lot, you know, and then going into the studio, and I was writing, because I was always writing the songs. They were never written for me, because they couldn't write the style of what I was doing. In actual fact, Body Talk, after losing the Got to Be Good track, they introduced me to Tony Swain, who's a genius in the studio, and he gave me a piece of music on a cassette, and I thought, what is this? And I took it home, and I thought, this got some idea to it, and I wrote the lyrics and the melody to Body Talk, and I asked to go in the studio to record it. So we went in, I called Ashley, who was just sessioning. I just said to him, look, you know, come down, we're going to do something like an Ashford and Simpson sort of thing. And so he came down, didn't know what was going on. I told him the part, so I went in the studio and arranged the whole thing. No one knew what it was going to be called or anything. And then everyone got all excited, because you could have a beat and a groove, but once you've got a melody and a top line and everyone is singing it, then you know you've got a song. And then there was a lot of compression, and the bass was pushed up, and and everybody was going, and it was slow. So it was one of the slowest records that year. And the DJs thought, what is this? You know, it's this group from America, and we put a white label out so you wouldn't know where it came from. So everybody was saying, if you don't know what white labels are, people out there, there used to be a thing called vinyl. And it used to, you know, scratch and stuff. And you'd get this little white label, and you'd think it came from America. So you think, oh my God, this is an exclusive. You get all excited. And so we sent this out to all the DJs. And it started from January 1981, and we hit the club scene. It was like pure underground. And then by the time it got to, I think, May, we started to get into the more commercial level. By this time, we were doing PAs and promoting and stuff like that. And it just broke open really big time. But I came from a whole history of different UK, British black bands that were, even before me, like High Tension. There was Light of the World, Central Line, Junior Giscombe was around. Lynx broke before us with David Grant. So I was the last of the line because I knew all these guys. I'm thinking, oh my God, they've all gone through, and I'd go and support them. So all of a sudden, I was like, you know, the little urchin at the end, you know, like, oh, when is it going to happen for Lee? Oh, poor thing, you know. And all of a sudden, we came with this complete difference. And I've always wanted to, you know, you have to, I think, in the industry, if you want to be a professional, a musician, whatever, you have to really push yourself. You have to really, it's a lot of commitment, and you have to try and be happy in your own skin and do what you feel is right for you, and take risks, you know. And that's the thing, you have to take a risk and step out. You know.
We're going to be chatting further with Leee John on Hot 91.9. It is well, it's 8:05. A little late today with the news. The night, Leee John in studio with us, lead vocalist of Imagination, and you're going to be doing a few shows here as well.
Delicious and more delicious. Yeah, on Sunday, it's a whole weekend. There's a festival a whole weekend, which is great. There's a lot of artists. There is Black Coffee, I think he's playing on Saturday. I love his album, his last album I had, which is really cool. And a mate of mine, Mario, he works with him sometimes, so he's really cool. I was trying to get him to do a mix for us, but he's so busy. And then Sunday we have loads of British crew coming over. Soul to Soul, Back to Life, Omar, Nothing Like This, and Alexander O'Neill. And I think you've got some local talent as well. And I will be having some special guests on the Imagination featuring Leee John show. Will be Double HP.
Nice.
And also a lovely singer. I don't know if you remember the Nelson Mandela film, and there was a young lady that played Miriam Makeba. She's got an album out. Her name is Nomfusi, and I'm actually on her album. We've done some songs together, and she'll be doing a little duet with me. So it'll be great. It'll be a nice family affair, and we're going to take you back and bring you forward, and also do some of the new stuff from the new album, Retropia. Do it right now. So it should be cool. It's going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to checking out all the food there.
Tasting all the food.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. After I come off stage, that is, I'll be checking out all the food. But it's going to be a really great time. I'm happy being here. Yeah. So everybody, you got to get yourself down to the Delicious Festival this weekend.
Yeah. Lee, I still remember you had an association with Shack Attack. It was in the 1980s. They were very big in London. I saw them at a club down there, and you were involved with them as well, I think.
Yeah, well, Shack Attack, we had the same, not management, we were the same company for a while, and Bill Sharp from Shack Attack is a good friend, and we actually recorded enough to do an album. We're supposed to do an album. It's in the can, so that's something supposed to come out. But I'm actually on one of their albums, Blue Savannah. We did a track, I guess it's just done it in love. Something like that. I can't remember. I've got so many musical things in my brain right now, but it's a really lovely track. So if you go and Google it, Blue Savannah, Shack Attack, and they're cool.
Lee, it's such a pleasure having you here at Hot 91.9. We wish you all of the best, and thank you for coming in today. Lee's still going to be with us here at Hot 91.9. He's going to be playing in one of our competitions later on today, the Samsung competition, as well as we're going to be taking the Pac-Man Challenge.
What's the Pac-Man Challenge?
That big
Wait till you
arcade
see
game
it.
up there. Viv, this is just for you.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
I think
Is everybody going to dance? Come on, I want to see everybody standing
Okay,
up
we
and
got
doing
boogie.
it. Come on, that's it. Let's party. Come on. That's it. Hey. Yeah, let's rock it. Let's see the hands in the air. Here we go. Double HB, do your thing.
And that's how we wrap up a really busy show this morning. Johnny, thank you very much for having me on air with you today.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure to have met such a legend and an iconic.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
he's talking about Lloyd, Lee.
Oh, I see. Okay. Just get that Lee Rock right, okay?
We're going to be doing the lead rock just now.
Yes.
Simon, thank you.
Thanks, Lloyd. Back tomorrow, eh?
Sasha
I've spoken to him.
back
He says he's looking forward to
tomorrow
coming back.
morning. Yeah, we're looking forward to having Sasha on breakfast. It's been fantastic being with you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
We've
had fun.
In a fellow DJ capacity and not our boss.
Yeah, we don't talk about what happened 2 weeks ago.
No.
Andy Levy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lloyd. It's been an honor and a privilege, as Johnny would say.
And thank you to Will Scott for holding the show together. And most importantly, thank you, Leee John.
Thank you, 91.9 FM.
We're going to be doing the Lee Rock outside. We're going to play out with a new track from Lee.
Secrets. It's the Lunar Man mix from Secrets from the new album Retropia. Let's get down, let's get busy, let's do it right now.
Let's do the Lee Rock.
That's it from us. Mark Pilgrim up next. Bye-bye.
Joburg's hottest breakfast show.
Sasha Martinengo, Andy Levy, John Wallen, Kwaneli Kuneni, Simon Hill.
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
Hot